welcome, boys. I've got the alphabetical order. Now, here's the first bit of controversy. On the BBC, they've got AFC Bournemouth as first in alphabetical order.
Oh.
But on the Premier League, they have Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think you can put the kind of...
The AFC.
Yeah, the AFC in there as
yeah.
like giving them priority in naming. I don't think it makes a lot of sense.
Because it's basically just like football club, isn't it? It's putting football club at the start of the name.
It's association football club, so I don't see... No, I don't like that. Have a look at themselves.
So I guess the first club that we are considering then is Arsenal. What a club to come to first. So what do we think? I've got the 5 options here. I've got GOAT, class, solid, aight, and relegation. Over the past 3 years, personally, I think they've just got to be sort of in that solid area. And it would be a bit too harsh to put them... I know many people would like to, but it would be a bit too harsh to put them below that, I think.
What was solid? Was solid the third? I need to write these down so I can...
It's, I think it's GOAT, class, solid, aight, relegation.
Yeah.
I think as funny as it would be to put them in aight.
Or even relegation.
And, Arsenal have kind of developed a bit of a reputation for having quite a elite defence.
Especially as we have seen.
Now, compared to what it used to be, is pretty non-existent. But I still think,
I still think the midfield isn't shocking, as is a way of putting
awful,
it. Yeah.
No, but it's not as good as it used to be. I think
he's not got anyone like Patrick Vieira.
They're definitely a kind of a top half team at least. So I think solid is only fair.
Solid. Do we think, because I'm happy to sort of do in betweens, if you know what I mean. So like do like halfway between sick on solid, or class and solid.
It's got to be halfway between solid and all right, I think.
See, for me, they're toward the top end of my kind of solid band. They're not quite breaking into class.
This is Arsenal, though.
But if we're looking at, I can't remember, but if we're looking at the past 3 seasons, last season, they got Europa. Was it last season they got to Europa League, or season before they got to Europa League final?
I think they were in it.
Could be before.
I'm not sure.
But I think last 2 seasons they've at least got to the Europa League. So for a club to do that, I feel like they at least have to be in solid.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of the other teams that I personally have put in solid.
Yeah.
And I think it wouldn't really make sense to not have Arsenal in there. Yeah. Unless you want to put like half the league in aight or below.
Yeah. I feel that. Especially, I think I'm going to place them between class and solid. As much as like Arsenal have become a meme, they're definitely not at that like GOAT level anymore. So that's Arsenal in between class and solid. So the next club would be Aston Villa. Mm-hmm. What do we think about Aston Villa? I mean, for me,
I think they're probably. I think you probably have to put them in relegation. I mean, you could make an argument for aight, because I don't think they've been awful this season. Like, I don't think they've been.
Yeah, with Aston Villa, I'd probably put Jack Grealish in aight, and then the rest of the team in relegation.
The rest of the team in relegation. Yeah.
As just an overall, but I think with the way it's been this season, they kind of they have to be down there, really, don't they?
It looks like they will go down.
Especially after those last 2 kind of results, in terms of they had very good opportunities in both games. Sheffield United, they came away quite lucky with a point. The Chelsea game, they were 1-0 up and kind of bottled that.
Yeah.
they don't have that resilience to go forward.
I feel like if they don't win their next game, then relegation's basically guaranteed, isn't it? Because after
Well,
they've got
they've
Wolves,
got
Liverpool.
really bad fixtures, don't they?
Yeah, it's horrendous, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm.
Because their last win was against Watford in game week 24. And then before that, you're looking Burnley 2 weeks before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So next, I guess we're looking at Aston Villa. Yeah, I think so.
We've just done Villa.
Oh no, sorry, Bournemouth. Next, we're looking at Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
What do we think about?
If it was this time last year, then solid. But Bournemouth have just lost their way this season, haven't they? Completely.
Yeah, I mean, this time last season, you'd be looking at sort of between solid and alright. Now you're looking at between alright and relegation, I guess, aren't you?
Yeah. I think Bournemouth kind of developed this reputation of being quite a good lower Premier League team. Playing good football. But
sure.
When I have watched them this season, I haven't really been that impressed.
They
get a lot of their goals from set pieces. They commit a lot of kind of niggly, unnecessary fouls.
For sure.
And a lot of it seems to be kind of playing the ball into the channel for Callum Wilson or Josh King to chase.
Because I think when they came up, they almost had a similar playing style to Norwich, and we're going to play our style of football. We're going to play attacking, and they managed to sort of scrape staying up. And now they're sort of feeling they look like they're going down. I think for me, between alright and relegation, just because they're not quite. But then I guess what other clubs am I going to put in relegation? I'm not going to put Bournemouth there. Then, so what do we think for them?
I would have to put them in relegation for this season.
Yeah, yeah, I would personally go relegation just because they don't look like they've got a plan. I think they will go down this season, and I just don't know if I don't know if I can call them eyes, like watching them play.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can keep that.
Especially
much
like watching the game, because obviously I was watching the Palace game the weekend, and I thought we looked okay, but Bournemouth just looked terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
On paper, it's still a decent team. There's good players in that team, but they just can't.
Bournemouth
can't play together, can they?
Into relegation. See you later. So, who are we looking at next? Who's next on the list? Is Burnley. Burnley have been a very, very solid team over
I think
the
so.
last
The right word
3
for Burnley,
years,
isn't it?
and I think that's probably quite an easy discussion, to be honest. They've been they've been teetering with European football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
especially early in the season when Barnes and Peters were going mad, and Wood as well. Yeah,
Wood, had a slower start, but I think that's the thing with the Premier League. The teams that come in with the mentality of being strong at the back are the ones that always end up doing the best, or at least staying up. So
and Pope as well. Pope's been so consistent.
Yeah,
best Premier League goalkeeper on fantasy this season. Who would have thought? onto Chelsea. More of an interesting. Chelsea's a very interesting one, I think. What have you boys gone for Chelsea?
I would put them more towards the class end because fourth place with quite a young team. Frank Lampard, I think, has done quite a good job at Chelsea.
What have their finishes been over the last few seasons?
Didn't they come third last season?
Was it third they came?
Oh, look.
If they came third, then I'd be very happy putting them in class. Especially with the team they've got this season. It's not like with Kante out injured. They've been playing a lot of youngsters, and
they came third last season.
Yeah, they did. Fifth before.
Yep, seems like Chelsea deserve a spot in class then.
Yeah, I mean, consistent high finishes, especially with how good I'm sure we'll get onto this, how good Man City and Liverpool have been recently. I think, they've done all that they possibly can to get that class.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. There aren't too many other teams that I'd put in that class.
Yeah.
That class banner. So, on to Crystal Palace.
No bias here.
What are we saying, boys? No bias. So I think over the past few seasons, it's been between 10th and 16th place finishes over the past 3. So take it away.
I'd say solid with some of the results you've got. Of course, a lot of upsets over the past few years.
I would put Palace in solid as well. I think they are like quite a solid team. I think they may be lacking goal scorers. They make up for in kind of organisation,
defence.
strong defence, tough midfield.
When I look at the midfield of Palace, I actually think there are very few, or in the sort of bottom half of the table, there are very few midfields that are actually better than that. In my opinion. But yeah, I mean, Palace have got a good chance as well at looking up the table this season. Towards them.
I don't think teams ever look forward to playing Crystal Palace. I think it's always a team on the schedule that's, a test for all teams.
I can agree with that.
It'll be very interesting to see what happens tonight.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
That'll be really interesting to see.
I'm looking forward to hopefully getting one over us.
0-0.
Even if you just draw against them.
A 0-0 would be absolutely. Take that. Get the Trent clean sheet as well. Potato. Right, on to Everton. That's an interesting side. For me, I'd almost put them teetering between classes. I feel like if we're putting Burnley and Palace in solid, Everton are just that bit of a step above, but not quite Chelsea.
But we put Arsenal in solid, didn't we?
We put Arsenal in. I put them in between class and solid.
Oh, in between. Okay.
Yeah, which I think is fair because they have been better than Burnley and Palace.
Yeah.
But Chelsea have been a lot better than Arsenal. So, for me, I'd probably put Everton at a similar sort of level as that.
I mean, I think Everton's an interesting one because they go through sort of spells where they'll be really kind of dire, and then suddenly it'll look like, oh no, they're getting their stuff together. They're playing some football. I mean, to be fair, I think at the moment under Ancelotti they look like
they do look good. Yeah. But even at the moment, where they're like 12th now in the season, they've not had the best finishes. I'm actually more tempted to put them in. I think Arsenal have been better than them over recent years.
Yeah, I agree. I think Arsenal have been better than them. I mean, Arsenal is a team that have been kind of consistently looking at Europa League apart from this season. Whilst Everton have been sort of bouncing around in that just below Europa League mid-table kind of area.
So I think Everton in solid is actually quite fair.
So the season, Everton have won 10, drawn 8, and lost 12.
Yeah. So on to Leicester City. And we're looking at. I think we have to look at the upper end. I don't know where they come with the last 2 seasons. Obviously, this season they're looking at Champions League football. And for me, Leicester just the style of football. I think Leicester just are a classy team. That's the word I put for it. But what do you think, Al?
I can understand putting them in class. Based on this season, but obviously the 2 previous seasons, I think they finished 9th last season and kind of mid-table-ish the season before.
Oh, really?
So it depends on kind of how you're evaluating it.
Oh yeah, you're going to have to do evaluation.
Season, although what I will say is they had a very, very strong start.
Yeah.
And then they kind of started to fall away a little bit. In my opinion,
they have a bit in the last few games. They drew to Watford, and then they just played.
They
played last night. They drew Brighton last night, which is not like Brighton have looked okay since the comeback, but getting those two draws, you'd be expecting a win. So
so I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I think you can make an argument to put them in that same kind of bracket as Arsenal.
That sort of like limbo in between.
Yeah. But I think putting them in class might be a bit, because then you're putting them on the same level as like Chelsea
and
getting European places. So
yeah, to be fair, if Leicester had another season like they have this season, then you could probably make a much stronger sort of argument for putting them in that class. But I think that limbo, because they have been better than the likes of Burnley, Palace, Everton, but not on the same level as Chelsea. Moving on to Liverpool. There's really only one place they deserve to be be honest. It's going to upset a lot of fans. I mean, you're a United fan now, so the fact that you're saying Liverpool's GOAT is
you got to respect it though, haven't you?
I've got to say fair enough to you as well.
Champions League, then Premier League. Well, we're bottling at the moment, but they'll probably win it.
I mean, even if we're just saying based on Premier League football, was it the last season that Manchester City got the highest ever point tally?
I think it was the season before. I think City got
101, I think. And then
last season, I think they got like 98, and Liverpool got 97, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like any other season last season, Liverpool would have won. Literally any other Premier League season with that point tally, they would have won. So, yeah, very. all you can really say is they've been GOATs. Yeah. They just to get that true GOATship title, they just need the win this season, which is looking likely to be, unless Palace win tonight and then Man City go and win at the weekend. You never know.
I'll be a good game too, to be fair. Because City will really want to win that, won't they?
Yeah, especially if Palace pull. I mean, either way, they'll really want to win it because they won't want Liverpool to win the title against them. But if Palace get any kind of result tonight, there's a glimmer of hope, if you know what I mean. Very unlikely, but still a glimmer. Mm-hmm. So, talking of, Man City are our next team. I feel like that's a very similar kind of discussion, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to lob them straight into GOAT. I don't think anyone's going to have too many disagreements with that.
Getting 199 points across 2 seasons.
Yeah, that is actually absurd.
So, yeah.
And especially like after the restart as well that we've just had, they just look like the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I mean, obviously if you were to criticise them, you would say that maybe they lack a bit of depth in defence. Yeah. And they did look very frail earlier in the season with Laporte out. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's kind of an area of potential improvement. But when they're playing their stuff, I think when they're playing against a team like Burnley, that I think Burnley kind of sat off them and gave them a lot of space. Yeah. They can just play like beautiful football. And just stick it around and score great goals. So I think you've got to put them in GOAT.
Yeah, it'd be rude not to. So on to the next one, which I believe is Newcastle. Yep. Newcastle is an interesting one because over the last few seasons, I would have literally said, Newcastle are sort of slap. They're just a basic team. They're white, but they really are just a very solid team. At the same time,
especially defensively, the amount of clean sheets they've got this season is quite.
Especially on the receiver, I'm surprised by because I'd say on paper, Newcastle probably have one of the worst teams in the Prem.
Yeah, it's not a great squad.
Yeah.
They've got some really good players in there, but
like even the likes of Almiron, Saint-Maximin, they're all players who they really don't have much end product. They've hardly scored.
Another one.
Jonatan's got his first home goal the other day, and it was a
Oh
tap.
yeah, that was only recently, wasn't it?
It was a
Was that
tap in. Yeah, it was a few days ago. Yeah, it's just a defence. I mean, they've got players like Matt Ritchie, Jonathan Shelvey, who are obviously absolute ballers, but
Hayden pops up every now and again as well.
Yeah,
cheeky little assists and things.
So whereabouts will we put them, do you think?
Maybe between solid and all right. You've got to respect that defence,
Solid,
I think.
all right.
I've got them in height personally. So I'm not sure if they're obviously they are quite defensively solid, but because they're so kind of blunt up front, I'm not sure they're quite on the level of your Burnleys and your Palaces.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with that.
I guess so relative, isn't it? So put the other teams too.
We're also running out of a bit of space in the solid section, so for terms of easiness, I'm gonna love Newcastle and all right. But no, yeah, they're very. I think another season like this one, and they definitely would deserve like a solid title. Didn't they? Did they only get promoted a few seasons or re-promoted, as it were?
I feel like they've been in the Prem a while now.
They got relegated, didn't they? And then they came back up.
They did, but
I think it might have been like, didn't they come up with Rafa about 4 seasons ago?
I was going to say 4 or 5 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It might have been that long ago.
I feel like it was before we started uni that they came back up.
It could have been, yeah.
I can't remember.
Now we're
but
on
who knows
to...
with the new takeover deal as well.
Yeah, very true.
Imagine it's going to go into Newcastle next season.
Yeah, I mean, that's being stalled, but I still think it'll go through just because it will benefit the Premier League. Now we're looking at Norwich. And as much as I like their style of football, personally, there's no other place they can be but relegation.
Yeah. I mean...
It's hard to really argue for them.
Yeah, they looked so poor the other day against Southampton. I think, they had those great moments near the beginning of the season, like beating Man City, and Pookie was just on fire.
The absolute Pookie party.
Even though they do, and I do get what you're saying, James, about, they do play some good football.
Yeah.
I think they're just so... I just don't think they threaten teams at all, really.
No, it was sort of that, when they played against Man City and beat Man City, I feel like everyone clocked onto them a little bit and was just like, oh, okay, you can play a bit of football. And as soon as that happened, everyone closed up a bit around Norwich. And it really does show, as I was saying earlier, that the defence is where you need to start at. And I think in the Championship, they conceded the most amount of goals in their promotion season. They just outscored everyone. So yeah, Norwich decent going forward, but shoddy defending has led to them.
I think they're going to lose a lot of their top players as well if they get relegated.
I can't.
There's rumors about like Max Aaron's going to United, Cantwell.
Yeah, I can't see Pookie leaving. To be fair,
he's a bit old now to be bought, isn't he?
I think Cantwell, Aaron's, and probably Buendia will go.
Buendia as well, yeah.
And they all look quite good.
Yeah.
So on to Sheffield United. Only been in the Prem for 1 season, but that season has been very good.
Has been very good.
So whether we flip it and have maybe a bit of a minus mark because they haven't been in the Prem 2 years, or is that too harsh? I think, or we just basing them off this season.
I think that's an understandable kind of way of looking at it. Like, they haven't really shown that they can do it again.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of these teams, if you took their best season, you could say,
that's true.
That was they're a great team. They're class or whatever, or they're solid. But then if you look at their other teams, so I think we need to see how they're doing. Because they could get relegated next season. It could.
Yeah,
happen.
exactly.
They could.
It's to be fair. If we're looking at, if we're doing that, because Leicester we would put in class if it was based on this season.
Yeah.
But Sheffield, I'd put Sheffield United in solid if it was just this season, but because they haven't shown that they can do it over a number of seasons, I'd probably just put them in all right.
Yeah.
For now, anyway. But with 100%.
I think if Sheffield don't buy a decent attacker over the summer, then they're surely getting relegated next season because they just can't attack.
Yeah, and it also showed the leakiness they have in defence when they don't have a five at the back when they played Newcastle. So Sheffield United purely pretty much based on the fact they've only been here for one season.
I'm not sure what's happening with Henderson next season either. I don't know whether United are going to call him back or whether they're going to let him have another year.
I'm pretty sure that there's been so much criticism over De Gea. I don't see why they wouldn't go for it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think they might bring him back, even just to put the pressure on De Gea.
Yeah, but then I don't think Henderson
won't get.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to play second fiddle to someone.
No.
Yeah, on to Southampton, who have been a pretty decent team over the last few years. Danny Ings,
Danny Ings,
absolutely smacking the goals in this season.
He is.
Where have you boys placed Southampton?
I'd probably put them in all right.
All right.
Yeah, that's where I put
them. They're not relegation, but
no, they're definitely not relegation. Don't know what I think their finishes have been pretty. There was a period of when they had like Mane. It was a while back, but when they were they could definitely be considered a solid team. When they had like Mane, Van Dijk, all the players that are at Liverpool now, basically.
Lallana.
Lallana as well. Pele.
But I know. I think they've got some good players like Ings, Ward-Prowse, Redmond.
Yeah, for sure. They're like whenever Southampton come along in the fixture list, I'm always thinking this is a bit of a harder fixture than say like a Bournemouth or a Villa. I'm not expecting to go there and win. I'm expecting something, but you're expecting it to be a tougher game. Yeah, definitely. Than a lot of the other teams. So on to Spurs. What do we think about Spurs? I think personally I put them in class.
Yeah, I think it'd be harsh not to.
Have they got Champions League last year? They got Champions League final last year.
Yeah.
Season before they got Champions League. And this season they very well could get champions. They're not. They've not done an Arsenal and completely slipped out of the race. They're very much still up there and fighting for it. Especially if fifth place is going to be Champions League this year.
Yeah.
Then I'd say I'd very much
probably. They haven't won a trophy since the 2008 Carling Cup.
Yeah.
That is the kind of mark against their name, I suppose. But third place in 17-18, fourth place in 18-19, and I think they will scrape into Europe on some kind of whatever that is. This season, so
I mean they'll at least get Europa League, whether it's because the place for Europa League will go really far. I think it goes down to 7/8. Around about. So looking at Watford now. For me, Watford are between I and relegation. Maybe teeter in between.
Put in some decent performances, I think. Especially the 3-0 over Liverpool.
They sort of have those. They either have a really good start or really good back into the season, but they're always a part of that relegation bunch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're always one that if they really fell apart, they could go down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But I think they've got some good players.
Yeah.
When they do, when they are firing like they were against Liverpool, they look brilliant.
Yeah. Well, the introduction of Sarr to that team has done a lot. To be fair.
Yeah.
So I think I'll put them in all right. I think that seems fair. On to West Ham. I think in previous seasons I would have put West Ham as a solid. Because they have been looking at sort of Europe, and at the start of this season, that's what they were going for. They were pushing for Europe, especially the amount of money they've put into the club as well.
Yeah.
But after this season, I'm not sure if they deserve a solid with how close to the relegation they kind of are.
Yeah, and I also feel like the word solid is kind of the opposite of what I would use to describe West Ham.
Yeah.
You know, they're so kind of flaky, I suppose. You never know which version of the team is going to show up.
Yeah, because you have some days where West Ham can be like incredible and just like
when all their attacking players are playing at their best, and you know they look fluid on the attack. Fabianski's making saves.
Yeah, exactly.
Rice is locking down the midfield. Then other days they just look like they'll never score a goal. Like they could play for 5 hours and wouldn't score.
So do we think maybe in between solid and or just Dwight?
I would personally go for Ait. But I could understand an argument saying they're somewhere between solid and Ait. I can understand that.
Going off the past 3 years, I'd probably put them in between. If it was just this season, then definitely all right.
Yeah, that's fair.
I love them in between. And good timing, actually, because we literally have 3 minutes left of the call and we're going on to the last club.
Have we? I feel like we've missed 2. Have we missed Man United and Brighton?
Have we not?
Oh, yeah, we're not at United yet.
Oh, we have missed them. Okay, let's do... got a minute for each of them. Let's do our Wolves. Wolves quickly then. What do we think for Wolves?
I'd personally put them towards like the kind of the Arsenal area of solid, like the kind of
the cast. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. They've been
I'd agree with that definitely.
They've been consistent in that like European spots over the past 3 or so years.
Yeah,
since they've come up. So I think
so fun to watch as well. Wolves, so attacking.
That's very fair.
So quick.
Man United. Personally, I think Man United are a class.
That's not go at the moment.
That same level of sort of Chelsea, consistently in and around Champions League. Yeah, I'm fine for that spot.
People forget they got second place in 17-18. Like people do forget that.
Yeah, that wasn't longer. And yes, the second place, Mourinho's greatest ever achievement, as it were.
Yeah, to be fair, if you look at the state that United team that became second.
Yeah, it's very true. And now, especially the back end of the season, I think United will get top 4.
Yeah.
I got with the team.
The City thing.
Yeah, I can see them coming above Chelsea. You're not that far behind Chelsea.
Points.
On to the last team. As in my alphabetical order has just gone to absolutely onto Brighton. Relegation for me, not really a solid team.
No, probably just put them in. All right.
Yeah.
For me, they were like at the bottom end of they're literally the bottom team on my
really?
Just above, yeah. Just because I feel like they've always got I think if they don't really strengthen for next season,
they could get relegated. Yeah. I feel like there was a team with Brighton. I do feel like most of the time they'll find a way out of getting relegated, which is probably why you put them in all right. I guess at the minute we do have the 3 teams that are currently on to get relegated in relegation, which makes sense, to be fair.
Yeah.
You could maybe, I guess for this season argue that Watford and Brighton should be teetering between the 2, but over the last 3 years, they've definitely shown them to be alright. But yeah, thank you for joining.
That's all right.
I've had a good time there. Hope you have too.
It's been good.
Yourself.